Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus with day number 3 of Urza Oko in Modern. First day we spent doing some 2-man queues. Second day we did a league, we went 4-1. This is probably going to be our final league with the Kannister's version of the deck. Tomorrow we'll probably move on to Thought Foundry version of the deck and then probably wrap things up for our time with the most far-flung of the versions, which is like the car and prison version with liquid metal coating and ancient cards on the main deck. So as we've been playing this through this deck, one thing that's become quite apparent as a friendly reminder, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up, leaving a constructive comment down below, as we're aiming to play 50 different decks through for a week. 25 in Modern, 25 in Pioneer this year. Those are kind of our goal in 2020, and helping people learn to play decks by kind of walking through the steps as we learn to play it ourselves. But the one thing that's quite apparent with this deck is the fact that listening to a description from Zan Syed about this version of the deck way back, I think it was October, talking about the huge advantage of this deck is it's a mid-range deck that gets to set up its mana way earlier. So you get to play Mox Opal and Gilded Goose, set up your mana, a turn or two earlier for a mid-range deck, deploy your threats, and then kind of sit behind your counter spells as you try to win the game, or use things like Coatl, Cryptic Command, Engineering Explosives, enough to buy you enough time to deploy your Emery and start getting value from that, or your Oko, or land an Urza and kind of set up the Cryptic Lock from there. One thing this kind of reminds me of is way back, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, when Jund had access to Deathrite Shaman, and it was probably the most dominant mid-range deck Modern has ever seen. Being able to play a turn ahead is a huge, huge boon for any deck. And while Gilded Goose and other mana dorks are somewhat vulnerable to things like Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push, etc., Mox Opal really is not. This is a card that, especially game 1, there's not too much your opponent can do to interact with this. It usually comes down before they can get with a Thoughtseize or something, and usually when they're Thoughtseizing or Inquisitioning, they're worried about taking your Okos or your Urzas. And I really think the biggest issue when staring down this deck for the format, which a lot of people think is going to be probably banned next Monday, at least Oko is, that I don't know the problem so much as the powerful threats in Urza and Oko. I think it's more the fact that they can come down so early without the ability to interact with them. Just the fact that this card is so... It doesn't always consistently turn on turn 1, but, like the one turn we had against Elves where we went, had Gilded Goose and Opal in play in the same turn. And I think we also played Arkham's Astrolabe. It was like Arkham's Astrolabe, Mishra's Bauble, Mox Opal, Tap Opal, play Gilded Goose. Like, you shouldn't be doing those kind of things, even in a format like Modern. And while those draws don't happen all the time, it's like something that happens with this deck. Beyond that, the main thing with this deck is you're trying to set up the Cryptic Command or Archmage Charm Loops with Mystic Sanctuary. This card, along with fetch lands, kind of allows you to get ahead and stay ahead in the mid game, or stay afloat, especially if you have access to Mishra's Bauble loops with Emery. Like this 3-card combo of Mishra's Bauble, Emery, Cryptic Command, and Mystic Sanctuary, actually a 4-card with the flip. Fetch lands being Mystic Sanctuary, kind of trivial to find, but getting that lock going is really difficult to beat. So, anyways, sideboard, don't really feel like too much needs changed. The graveyard hate cards have been working overtime as we've played against Dredge twice. I think we used all the cards. The only card I think we didn't use was Ceremonious Rejection, and obviously Etron being a part of the format. And Damping Sphere didn't come in, but once again, the Sultai Titan Field decks are a part of the format right now, which are basically an amalgamation of Amulet Titan and the regular red-green Valakut decks, except without Valakut, they're playing Field of the Dead, try to go over the top of these Oko decks. So really kind of the two approaches to attack this deck. Try to go under it with, more aggressive draws from things like Affinity and Lower to the Ground, Mono Red Burn as opposed to Boros, or to try to go over the top of it with things like Tron and Amulet Field. Problem with Tron is, they get like an early Oko or Urza down and can counter your first spell or two, then the game's probably over at that point. So, anywho, that said, figure I'd go over what we've learned so far and get into that league. Okay, we're back for our first match. Play, which is something we didn't get to do a lot last time. No lands, unfortunately, so okay, another no lander. Get to quickly mulligan to 5. This deck does run a lot of mana sources, but not a lot of lands, so mulligan's probably not uncommon. And yeah, this hand's probably a keep, not the best 5-card hand, but it's both of us mulligan to 5. So E-Tron maybe. Once upon a time. So some type of the shadow variant. Let's run this out because we're probably going to pop it at the end of turn one way or the other. Probably got to take Cryptic here, especially if they're the Jund version. He's probably just going to die here. Yep. So they shredded our hand pretty well. Turn will both come down next turn. Okay, the bobble. This deck's just kind of going off. The shadow. Another Emery. When it's Scoops. All right. Obviously got a little bit lucky there. So from what we can see, they're on Jund, so we're probably interested in potentially Veil of Summer and Dismember. Neither one of these is necessarily guaranteed to kill anything. We saw Tarmogoyfs and whatchamacallits. We haven't seen any blue mana out of them, so I don't know if I'm supposed to leave in some of the counter spells here. Spellbomb can set them back a turn. Maybe that's just better than Dismember in some spots. And then we shave a Gilded Goose because they're kind of able to interact with that. Coatl obviously is pretty decent in this matchup. Yeah, sounds pretty decent. I'm only getting to 6. They use the bauble trick on themselves. Target us with it, so they're willing to know what to take, as they thought see us, Inquisition us. I'll take Archmage's Charm, Mox Opal. One card they can't take is Urza. So, I'm gonna say either attack the powerful card or. Huh. Not to run that out. Have them draw a 0-mana artifact. We could deploy a turn 2 Urza. Looks like a fast Tarmogoyf here. Dismember on Gilded Goose and into Death Shadow. So it feels like they don't have a Fatal Push, so we're losing Oko here, which is unfortunate, but it's trying to force out the Coatl. There goes Oko. Fortunately, I have no way of getting Urza out of my hand right now. We're supposed to jump here. There's Elk. I guess it is for 3. Fatal Push. With all the removal. Alright, so we have a bunch of counter spells now. Okay. Let's see what you got next turn. Urza. Sure. Mm-hmm. Get another Death Shadow. Play another Death Shadow. Best of our opponent. Hopefully that'll draw. I got another kill spell here. Just another Traverse, sure. Stick Sanctuary, put Cryptic Command back on top. This. Astrolabe, draw a Cryptic Command. How lucky is that? Okay, there's no go. Elks. Elks are all you need. Sure. And 6. Interesting. How convenient. Let's go to Bobble. Cast Bobble. Strong. Good grief. I traversed the world. Pretty solid one. Sure. Okay, Collector Roof. That Concession Archmage's Charm. It is. Nice. Feels good to beat Death Shadow after losing to it the first time around last week. And on to the next match. Back for match number 2 on the draw. Seems a whole lot of quick setup, none of our big bombs, but I still think, and obviously it's in a keep. So burn. Hmm. Really looking for Oko, obviously. Gilded Goose isn't a terrible consolation prize. See if they aim that at the goose or not. I'm feeling we're going to get Eidolon, right? Yep. So we got next. Helix, sure. Really looking for an Oko here. Hmm. Let's get a basic island here. Force them to use a burn spell on this. That isn't great for us. Keep taking damage. Turn that to their hand. Our opponent only knew how bad our hand actually was. This is when you play your burn spells. Okay, Searing Blaze. Could attack, but once again, we're not racing them at this point. Yep. Definitely drawing the wrong half of our deck at the moment. By wrong half, I mean way too many lands. Yep. So now they have both Searing Blaze and Eidolon in hand. I mean, if we ever happen to draw a counter spell, we're good, right? Sure. Yep. Yeah, that's definitely one way to lose to burn. Guess we bring in Nature's Claim. Maybe Dismember? The rest of the deck just doesn't make sense. I'm not sure Dismember particularly does. Bring in one, go down the Spell Bomb. It's not the greatest in this matchup. And so like 21st. Is turn 3 Oko good enough? Maybe. Sure. Burn plan gets significantly worse. Yeah. Hopefully they don't. Well, I guess even if they have Eidolon, we can just claim it, right? Cantripping. We're going to burn a bunch of mana on this. Again, protecting Oko with a Coatl here. Looks like they're gonna blaze plus stuff. Sure. Okay. Yep. grab another. Actually, could run out Oko here, but like forcing them to burn the resources on our other card advantage slots. And by the way, Gilded Goose counts as card advantage in this matchup. We did mill an Urza, which kind of sucks. A little bit frisky with the Coatl now. Like, this game's pretty much over, right? Bolt memory, sure. No counter spells in the graveyard, unfortunately. Just like a lockup concession. Yep. Alright. So, do we want to change anything on the draw? Is cutting a land crazy? What's limiting to 6? We don't have anything in particular in our hand that we like. But we do have some cantrips. Obviously, want to unload as much of our hand on turn 1 as possible. See, Oko seemed good, so we get to turn to Oko. Do this. Do that. Do that. Could potentially bobble next turn, but I don't think that's the correct play. Okay, so you do have the second land, which is unfortunate. Okay, draw land off that, which is nice. So their bobble is interesting. Let's see what they're drawing here. Boros Charm. So that means Oko is effectively dead no matter what I do. Lay this out. Do I have the extra opal here? No, it doesn't matter because I don't have the snow mana anyway. Alright, so they have one Boros Charm used. We can drop another one here. This isn't actually going to show us what they're drawing, but a goose and a bobble. We don't want to commit too much of our mana. There's a 1, 2, 3. Tap this for blue. This one, keep that one. Tap this for blue, do that. Play Urza. Put that out. Mana, filter it into a green. A 7/7, say go. Sure. So they're drawing a mountain. Into a green. Drop the coatl here. Start to end the game. Game's basically over. Our opponent just doesn't know it yet. Don't even care about Boros Charm. I care about basically Smash, and that's about it. Counter target spell. Draw card. Oko. That didn't lock up the game. So that concession Oko. Apparently not. Alright, so just continue to build our big boy up. Didn't hold up food activations here. Don't want to die to like random Boros Charm plus stuff. I was going for the Hail Mary there, I guess. So, got the win against Burn despite flooding out game 1. So, definitely feels like a very lopsided matchup against Burn, especially when you see any number of Okos and Gilded Gooses, and especially as a Burn player, I can say that matchup feels terrible usually, so that's why a lot of people are moving to the mono red deck, kind of get under them a little bit. So, anyways, on to the next match. And we're back for our third match here. Seems interesting. I think this is a keep, but it does feel like it could be a little bit slow. Once already mulligan to 6. Mirror match. Ooh, fun. Guess this could be a non-mirror match. Maybe I'm just supposed to run out the duck here. So maybe I'm just supposed to be exploiting their mana disadvantage, but curious what's going on over there. Okay, so they're just blue-white control. Fair enough. Alright, so I'm just going to jam Oko next turn with Counterspell backup. Main deck Mystical Dispute. Alright. The format really gotten that goofy that people have to main deck Mystical Dispute. I was gonna say, game is over, friend. I mean, so bring in the Mystical Disputes, bring in Ashiok to fight over Mystic Sanctuary nonsense, and bring in these. Spell Bomb can go. One copy of EE can go. Copy of Gilded Goose can go. Like, Quaddle's a cantrip and can pressure their planeswalkers a little bit, so I'm still not 100% sure how to board in the blue-white matchup. So one thing I've noticed is, at least in these last couple of matches, is a lot of these games are just decided by non-games. I think both of the Death Shadow matchups, both players got to play Magic. That game obviously was kind of decided by blue-white missing their land drops, most likely. Not saying we couldn't have won that game, but certainly would have been more difficult if blue-white had hit their land drops. And then the first game against Burn was kind of decided by us missing, or us flooding out massively. So yeah, I think this hand's fine. And our opponent's going to be able to just sit back behind their counter spells. We don't have any busted mana draws or anything. But we do have a fairly decent curve, obviously, so I should have played that out. Their opponent stuck on one land. So they are stuck on one land. Could pretend we have counter spells here, but I think I'm much more interested in getting that Coatl into play. Finally drawing a land, friend. Drawing a Spring Verdict. That's going to be headed to the bottom. Doing this more of a bait spell, but understand Bale correctly. I'm going to say this can't be countered. Okay. We have a Detention Sphere or something here. Just like a D-Sphere. Move it to Fairy. So we'll force them to verdict here, if they even have one. Yeah, I'm fine with them pathing that. Sanctuary, put that back on top. To go force of negation. Okay. We're fighting through all our threats, despite having no counter spells. Yep. Actually, that Jace is likely going to be enough. Cleared off a bunch of lands for them. Sure, whatever. Target spell. I don't think this is actually going to work, but wow, actually worked. So they have Terminus and Spring Verdict in their deck? Interesting. Don't particularly care about Snapcaster Mage here. Pass turn. Yeah, whatever. They're ambush vipers or ambush vipers. Hmm. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana right now. Could bounce Astrolabe, but I think that's just too cute right now. How about if I say no? Pull the deck a little bit, get our last land out. Yeah, no. Opponent has okay. Totally not blocking. There's an astrolabe. The listener seems pretty decent. So we got baubles, we got astrolabes. Alright. Don't think we're in danger of decking ourselves. It's got a fetch land, which probably doesn't even have much to grab out of their deck yet. Alright, there's Snapcaster Mage, sure. Wow. Okay. Maybe they have a chance. Okay, one engineering explosives left in my deck. What else do they have over there? Field of Ruin, not particularly relevant. So we can astrolate back. Castable is not particularly relevant here. Really looking for the last engineered explosives. 1, 2, 3. And 5. Alright. That could be a problem. Does this resolve? No. One, two, three, four. Looks like they're just firing up Colonnade. Which 1, 2. Sure. So they're gonna put us to 2 here. So, opponent's one card in hand is Jace. Create a food token. Oh wait. Target player draws 2 cards. Merry Christmas. Well, that was fun. On to the next match. We're back for the 4th match. Here we're on the play. Yeah, I think this hand's okay. It's not like fantastic, but seems reasonable enough. Burn, possibly. Nope. Alright, so some type of things and stuff deck. Gotcha. Some of the amulet, whatchamacallit decks. Okay, so they're just straight up Valakut. Gotcha. Just an opportunity for damage there, but no sense in crying over spilt milk, so to speak. Most they can do is, what, 4 lands this turn? Sure. Some lands I wish I would have had a counterspell there. Hopefully we draw a land here. We just need to start clocking our opponent. Hold up, Metallic Rebuke this turn. Hopefully they just jam Titan here. 6. No Titan for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 mountains currently. Like, what could we even draw here, unfortunately? Our land isn't terrible. Screwed up which one to tap there. Should have done that. I still think we have lethal next turn as long as they don't have another bomb. Yeah, that's a thing. One, two, three, four. It's their fifth mountain. Sure. Let's just end this game. Tap. We got a bolt. I guess we got. Maybe I'm not supposed to be quite this aggressive. Or show the bolt. Yep. Alright, I deserve to lose this game. Got too aggressive. Now they're gonna have the combo, right? Scapeshift for the win. What is in their hand that they don't like automatically just slam the kill here? Like I am extremely confused. Like if you have Titan, you shoot my 2-3-3s. Do me 12 actually if you have Titan, can't you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can do 6. For sideboarding, I guess we have Mystic Disputes and Ashioks. Pretty much what we're getting at here. Field the dead, get a dude. Okay. Took you that long to figure that one out? Okay. Okay, so okay, so why did that take you 2.5 minutes to figure that one out? All right. I mean, I got too aggressive, so that was on me there. But so bring these. Shape one of those. Shape one of those. Maybe it's just both engineer explosives. Leave one in as a hedge, I guess, and then board out the spell bomb. I'm truly dumbfounded. I don't often question um, opponents' play lines, but to my knowledge, the Urza Oko decks don't tend to run Force of Negation. So I'm honestly curious what exactly they were worried about. Like, I'm in 18, that's a 7 Scapeshift number. Yeah, I'm really dumbfounded on that one. I guess we keep this one. I think we really need to draw a land. Yeah, like that. I mean, that loss was clearly on me for getting too aggressive with the cryptic command there. Because obviously uh, Bolt got us there, and that was entirely on me being too aggressive trying to kill them, and I had missed. That was two mistakes. I missed the 3 points of damage from choosing the wrong thing the previous turn, and then yeah. So definitely need to draw land here. I think with the draw land here, we're in good shape. Emery. So we only milled one land, right? I think we're going to be too slow now. I'm going to target that, even though we're not likely going to see the card they're actually drawing. Yeah. This hand was clearly kept on a gamble, and that gamble didn't pay off. So now it's probably going to be able to race us. Still drawing a Sakura Tribal anyway. Sometimes I swear there's a problem with that shuffler. The Gilded Goose. Guess we actually play another goose here, set up for next turn. If there is next turn. Yeah, this feels like a Titan. Yeah, like, looking at this match, obviously I made 2 mistakes game 1, not animating the proper artifact to bash them for an extra 3, which would have been relevant as far as killing them. And then being aggressive with the cryptic commands, kind of doubling down, but I did go for the play to win line. I still think this hand is a reasonable keep. There is 22 draws in our deck. The lost play will go on turn 2. Because the 19 lands besides the fetch land we had sitting in play, well, I guess 20 out of 20, because the Mystic Sanctuary wouldn't have done it. But 20 out of 50, so basically a 40% draw chance to go potentially Oko and then into Urza. I think that combination backed up by Mystical Dispute might have been enough to get us there. And then, so those were basically the decision points that cost us that match. I don't even know if this is that bad of a matchup. It's just interesting to see how the Valakut decks have changed over time. But anyways, on to the next match. Alright, so we're back for the 5th and final match of the second league with Kannister's list. I think this hand's a keep. We draw a second land, we're threatening a turn 2 Oko. And yeah, what more can you say, right? So hate to take the extra damage here, but Goose, do the thing, help to draw land. So it looks like Prowess, Stomp, sure. Ironically, we're able to hold up Metallic Rebuke here. Sure. Bolt, Turret, and Goose. Man, we're not drawing mana today. Looks like they're going to pretty easily kill. Possible I should have run out Coatl here. Unfortunately, it's just a chump blocker here. Alright, Steamkin isn't particularly threatening on this board. If they have a bolt or anything, we're just dead. Yeah, sure. I'm dead to Stomp here, I'm dead to so many little things. Urza, go. Here's my 5/5. My 5/5 might keep me alive. I'm just dead on board, right? Yeah, we're just dead. Alright. Close to stabilizing there, but no cigar. Nature's Claim. Maybe a Dismember. Go down. Spellbomb. Try it like that. Sand obviously could potentially be a little bit awkward, but Goose forces them to have an answer for it immediately, and we still get a 2-for-1 out of it basically. I'm along at a 5, along at a 4. drawing a land. Funny part is we haven't established if they're on a Red Burn or Prowess yet. Yeah. Fortunately, my hand wasn't entirely reliant on that card. Next turn we get to Urza. Sure. The old turn on my light up the stage hand. 2 mountains. There's my 5/5. My 5/5 is amazing. Mountain. I know you have an island hand, my man. Or woman. Sure. Let's get Music Island. Do the thing. Alright. One less thing we gotta worry about, I guess. Shenanigans. Alright, sure. Cancel. Do that. We're gonna have to win this game the hard way. Sure. Okay. Yep. Okay. Got the Monastery Swizzle Spear. Call. Alright. Good last card to have, right? Alright. Definitely blocking with that Emery appeared to be the incorrect call. Alright, counter target spell. I guess they could risk factor in if they really wanted to. They dread shenanigans. Really? Are you prioritizing blowing up my food that much? Why would you blow up EE? One, two, three, four. So take another spin, see what happens. Alright, it can dread shenanigans if it wants. I suppose at least it's a guaranteed spell. Okay, risk factor. I think I'll take the 3 damage. Let's go ahead and use Opal here to kill a stupid steam kitten. Alright. Despite punting many punts, we still managed to get there. I'm going to put it Milligan into 4. Alright, next time, don't block with a Emery when you're at 16. Yeah, hand's pretty decent. Obviously, if they blow up EE, we could have some problems, but I still think we're supposed to go EE on 1, crack it on 2, especially if they have a 1-drop. Yep. So, yeah, I think I'm just supposed to go do that on 1. Like, if they shenanigans, they get in for 2, but then... Okay, sure. Metamorphosis is potentially problematic, but we run Goose out. From here on out, our Coatls become Doomblades effectively. Are we supposed to block here? It's an interesting question. Guess it depends on how much damage they pile up this turn. Alright, so we're taking 4 here. And of course, we hit our basic forest and an Oko, which is mildly annoying, and an Urza. It's a pretty terrible trade-off overall. Sure. Supposed to lay up the stage trigger turn. Yep. Tormod script's pretty good there. Why would you even give me the chance to cast this? Honk honk. I didn't even play Emery out this turn. Is there an Metamorphose? Bedlam Reveler. Sure. Chain Runaway Steamkin, another Bedlam Reveler. Coatl, Coatl. Do this. Gain some life. Alright. Down on some artifacts, so that kind of sucks at least. Sure. Please mountain. Alright. Counter target spell. Chose the wrong Emery there. Like adult. Not that it particularly matters with just an opal in the graveyard, but mana is mana here, right? Why would you go after Emery here? Sure. That's why you go after Emery, because you drew another Bedlam Reveler. Wow. Okay. Put a Cryptic Command on top, force them to blow the whatchamacallit here. Alright, so looks like they don't have any whatchamacallits in their thing right now, so take the opportunity, filter one of these into black. Steamkin is extremely annoying here. Hey, a forest, just what I wanted. By forest, I mean I can only get one green source because I've already milled my other forest. Lava Spike. Sure. Really? Okay, let's hope you whiff, but you really haven't whiffed too much today. Alright. Yeah. Final punt for the final game. Back in 1 second with the wrap up. Yeah, we're back for the wrap up with Kannister's blue-green Urza deck. So definitely the takeaway for that is the deck is extremely powerful, but there are a couple minor things keeping the one-landers may not be the best of decisions, as well as the deck does make a lot of decisions. Like, you have a lot of little decision points, and sometimes those decisions can cost you. Like, for instance, you need to be careful exactly what you're reanimating animating into an elk with Oko. That came up in the Valakut matchup. I think I probably would have won game 1 if I would have animated the correct thing. Wouldn't have had to get extra frisky with my Cryptic Command, tapping down their Sakura Tri-Builder. So I think that was a couple of compounded mistakes that, just going for the win because it was kind of obvious that they were going to start getting to the point where Valakuts could start getting things down. And then game 2, I still stand by the decision to keep that hand. Obviously, turn 2 Oko would have been very nice if we would have dropped one of our untapped sources or another Mox Opal. And then there was definitely some mistakes in the Prowess matchup. I think game 2 went far longer than it should have. And then game 3, game 3 just felt a little weird. It felt like we were ahead at several points, but we never really drew our payoffs per se. And then there was a couple decisions like running out engineered explosives on one was a calculated risk. There's a lot of different things that were definitely some interesting decision points to go back and watch on that game. But 4 Bedlam Revelers, that seems... So it looked like they were on the Swiftspear... Do we even see Soulscar Mage out of them? Looked like they were on the Swiftspear, maybe Soulscar Mage, Runaway Steamkin Bedlam Reveler version, which is a little bit better for grinding, which would have probably been reasonable to bring in Tormod's Crypt in that matchup, but we didn't see that until I think game 3. 1 or 2 Bedlams I don't think is reasonable enough to bring in Tormods, but I think the risk factor in the Steamkin should have been the giveaway of what they were trying to do. That tends to be the version of Prowess that tries to go a little bit longer, gives up a little bit of utility, and having a weak card in Steamkin in a lot of situations. But yeah, definitely some decisions there in game 4 and game 5. Part of that might have been, just sitting down and playing a long league. Normally I break up my leagues in different sections, especially when I'm playing a kind of a grindier game or grindier deck like this one. But definitely, my play definitely got sloppier in match number 4 and number 5, so that might be something I might want to keep an eye out for in the future. And as far as a wrap up, this will probably be the last time we play this particular version of the deck. There's a couple other variants I want to get to this week, but I hope you guys have been able to take a lot away from different play lines, the different decisions this deck has, and I hope this series has been helpful for you guys learning how to pile the deck as I've been learning to pilot it. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Hope everybody has a great day.